Pregame.com.
All right, Fez, we have a top 5 matchup in the Horseshoe on Saturday night, ABC. This is Brad Powers in the Pregame.com studios just off the Vegas Strip. And one of the biggest games of the entire 2017 college football season is now upon us. We have Oklahoma at Ohio State.
Just last year, Oklahoma got annihilated against the Buckeyes. Who do you like this year?
I like the Buckeyes again. That's right. We're going to take Ohio State minus 7.5. They were good to us last week on these free pick videos. They got the late cover against Indiana. We're going right back to them. Let's talk about my number one factor. It's actually Oklahoma's quarterback, Baker Mayfield. He is number 1 all-time in the history of the NCAA in passer efficiency. But I'm here to tell you guys, I think he's a little overrated. Whenever he steps up and plays great defenses, and he doesn't see a lot of them in the Big 12, but I'm talking about when he's facing Clemson and Ohio State the last 2 years. How about 3 touchdown passes in 2 games, 4 interceptions, and last year against Ohio State, completed 53% of his passes. In no other game last season did he complete less than 60%. Anytime Baker Mayfield plays a legitimate defense, he's kind of an average quarterback. That's why I like the Buckeyes.
And last year, Mr. Mayfield had some super high-quality NFL talent that is no longer there.
Yeah, let's start off a wide receiver. D.D. Westbrook won the Biletnikoff Award as the nation's top wide receiver. He's gone. Samaje Perine, in the history of Oklahoma football with all those wishbone running backs, Samaje Perine's the all-time leading rusher. He's gone. And then I would say the most talented of the trio, Joe Mixon, who actually led Oklahoma in rushing last year, he's also gone to Cincinnati. So Baker Mayfield's going to be looking around that backfield, and he doesn't have any of his running mates.
Going to lead my Bengals to the playoffs. I am worried about your pick here. Oklahoma, obviously, embarrassing loss at home. This game has been circled for a year. Is that not a concern?
It is a concern, and it gives me pause, and this is why it's a free pick and not a best bet. I do expect a very motivated Oklahoma team here, but I go back to last year, and I thought Oklahoma had a significant edge. You had an Ohio State team that was the least experienced team in the entire country, first road start for them, 6 returning starters, and they dominated. This year, Ohio State's the more experienced team, 15 returning starters. So I actually think Ohio State's in much better shape than what they were a year ago.
Yeah, I got to comment on this line because last year this line was basically pick 'em. So you do the power ratings. I don't do the power ratings in college football. But my thoughts were like, well, if it was pick 'em last year, we flipped the home field. We'll make Ohio State 7. Ohio State's a lot better this year. And obviously the line last year was way wrong. Let's make the Buckeyes minus 11. I'm kind of surprised it's coming so small.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. You mentioned it was picked last year. I would have probably put the line at 9 or 10, and that's why the Buckeyes are the play here. And again, Ohio State on my power ratings preseason, I upgraded them from the end of last year. Oklahoma, with the Bob Stoops dismissal, and we'll talk about him leaving here in a second, I've actually had them downgraded, especially with all the skill position players gone.
Let's talk about coaching, your second key handicap.
Yeah, let's talk about the coaching mismatch we have here. Urban Meyer, 196 career games. Lincoln Riley, 2 career games. This will be his first head coaching game on the road. In fact, Urban Meyer has 3 national titles, so he has more national titles than games that actually Lincoln Riley has coached in.
You know, and I would say Urban Meyer had a significant coaching edge over Bob Stoops, and now you're going to lower Oklahoma obviously even further. What adjustment did you make for the new head coach for Oklahoma?
I downgraded Oklahoma about 1.5 points, and that might sound a little steep, but we are talking about a guy that was a Hall of Fame coach, was there 20 years, won him a national title. And what I would worry, at least with this being the first big game for Lincoln Riley, how's he going to handle those 2 or 3 decisions you got to make? Hey, do I go for it here? I'm at the 35-yard line. Do I punt? What do I do as far as field position? I would much rather trust big game Bob with his 19 years of experience than I would Lincoln Riley in his second game.
No question. Let's make it official.
Yeah, let's make this official. We're taking the Buckeyes minus 7.5. Oklahoma's quarterback, Baker Mayfield, feasts upon poor defenses in the Big 12, but when he steps up in competition and plays the Ohio States and the Clemsons of the world, he doesn't perform very well, and therefore he's overrated. Number 2 factor, let's talk the coaching mismatch. Urban Meyer has more national titles than Lincoln Riley has actually coached in career games. Huge edge for the Buckeyes there, and when you add it all up, they're the play minus 7.5. More videos at pregame.com.